Sarah stretched her arms, cracking her neck and shoulders as she stood atop the meadow. A black kitten approached her, dashing through the grass in wait of her touch. She knelt before the creature, scratching its head in a display of affection. A cool breeze blew past, revealing the angel's dark brown eyes. She lifted the creature into her arms, nuzzling its nose with her own. She loved John with all her heart, and every day she made sure he knew it. "You tired, buddy? We'll be home soon." Sarah tucked her companion in her coat, stepping down from the pinnacle. The pair headed for town. Before joining the presence of society, Sarah retracted her wings. She strolled into a convenience store at the edge of the city. Despite receiving little business so far out, the owners managed to make do. Upkeep proved far easier to maintain compared to retail chains in the area. "Excuse me," the cashier protested. "Animals aren't allowed in the store." "Sorry," Sarah apologized. "I took 'em out for a walk today. We'll be quick." Sarah located the chips at the back of the store. She grabbed a pouch of the classic potato flavor before returning to the counter. "These days it's mostly just me and him. I take him practically everywhere." "What's his name?" "John." "Pretty unusual name for a cat." "Humans and animals are more alike than you think. Instinct is only a step behind sentience." "Fair enough." "Thank you. Have a good day." "You too." The angel took her time walking home. Dandelion petals rose to greet her, acknowledging her connection to the landscape. In turn, she peered over the horizon, focusing her gaze on their final destination. Inside, Sarah looked around, admiring her collection of posters and art. Over the course of her time on Earth, she'd begun to think of it as her second home. Perhaps it was time for a change. "What do you think, Kitty? Should we awaken the masses?" John meowed, climbing from his cozy confinement. The votes were in, and the decision was unanimous. Later that night, Sarah ordered pizza. While waiting, she scoured through her old record collection. The stack consisted of albums released between the 90s and early O's, each representing their own unique brand of metal. She recalled her creator, her true creator, the mortal who entrusted God with mankind's future. His secrets were hers to keep, and hers alone. A stoic frown crossed her features. Sensing her distress, John crawled into her lap, yawning as he tucked himself in. Perhaps the love she gave him was her way of atoning. Only time would tell for sure. When the driver arrived, he found the door already opened. He knocked out of courtesy, not wanting to intrude. John scampered up to him. His demeanor was unusually friendly towards the stranger. It was better than guard dogs, at least. "Hey, little guy, you the one who ordered?" "Afraid not," a feminine voice corrected. "Haven't taught him how to do that yet." The driver looked up, startled by the woman's sudden appearance. His surprise only grew upon noticing her wings. "Sorry, I didn't see you." "Don't apologize. Pets are a weakness most humans share." "You say that like you're not human." "Only partially. Depends on who you ask." "You'll forgive me if I have a hard time believing that." "Go on. Feel them." The driver slowly reached out his hand. He felt everything, the feathers, the joints, all of it. Before him stood a being far beyond his comprehension. His whole world was about to be turned on its head. "Come in. I'll explain everything." Stepping through the angel's halls was like entering a wormhole. The age of nu metal, PlayStation 2, and animated slasher films had long since come to a close. But here, in this one patch of land, they were still alive. The spirit of the old world never left. It had only been overshadowed by the new. In the kitchen, Sarah offered the man a glass of water. He accepted, still dazed by the revelation of her existence. Who was she? Where did she come from? Why was she here? The answers would soon come to light. All he had to do was wait. What's your name? Reggie. I work as a pizza guy, in case you couldn't already tell. Must be a shock finding me out here in the middle of nowhere. We tend not to ask the ancestry of our customers. Doesn't really seem like pertinent information. Well, to be fair, my family tree's too extensive to get anything meaningful out of. That's half the reason I called you. Figured it was safe to start changing things. What do you mean? It's a lot to take in. I don't want to overwhelm you any more than I already have. Sorry for being so standoffish. Just kind of threw me for a loop back there. I'm all ears. If you insist. You've probably deduced God is more than a fairy tale at this point. So what is he? A man. More specifically, an entity born from the subatomic plane. Subatomic, as in quantum theory? You catch on quick. That's exactly what I mean. When the Big Bang occurred, our dimensions split in two. The universe works in cycles. Each time it's reborn, we learn a little more. The circumstances change, but the principles are always the same. It all boils down to the interactions between waves and particles. That must mean you figured out how to manipulate time and space. More so space. Time is abstract. It's not tangible. We measure it by the rate of progress. The variables make it relative to the point of obscurity. Fair enough, but what about you? I was developed using genetic material from the previous timeline. Our domains influence each other in small ways. Most never notice unless they're paying attention. What you think of as ghosts or spirits are really just residue brought about from decomposition. The acid that makes up their thoughts, feelings, and memories is broken back down to its quantum state. It changes, but it still remains the same, just like everything else. But you look so modern? Yeah, what gives? By human metrics, I'm in my 40s. What I'm about to tell you is extremely private. Can I trust you? That depends. On what? What you'll do if I tell? Nothing. I don't hurt people. What good are boundaries if they aren't enforced? The human race will eventually go extinct again. No one will remember when that time comes. I have nothing to fear. Figures you'd outthink me. I want people to understand how things work so we can make the world better. My problems aren't theirs. Nothing leaves this room unless you say so. Dad didn't design me. Man did. A human? I was the closest he had to a lover. Surprising as it might sound, the prior inhabitants suffered tremendously worse. This timeline's the first step in the right direction. So what's the end game? I don't know. Reggie realized the bitter truth. No matter how far mankind advanced, evil would always exist. If not by proxy, then by choice. All they could do was mitigate the damage. Maybe whoever designed you knew we could only go so far. You may only be a treatment. So what's the cure? The angel's bangs fell to the side. Millennia of emotion swelled to the surface. Her creator wasn't part of her. He was her. Their souls were one and the same. I'll tell you his name. Sarah, Reggie, and John split the meal 3 ways. John scarfed his share down voraciously, eating his weight in cheese and bread. He's a greedy little stinker, isn't he? You have no idea. Reggie asked to take a photo for his girlfriend. Sarah agreed, cradling John on her shoulder. Everything mankind knew was about to change. Remember what I told you. Everyone has darkness in them. What makes the difference is how you use it. I think he saw that. You're a good guy, Reggie. May fortune smile upon you. That regal tone suits you. Maybe I'll make you a knight someday. Sir Reginald has a nice ring to it. You guys should swing by sometime. Got some stuff from the old world you might find interesting. I'll be off this weekend. We'll drop by then. Guess I'll see you soon. Don't let the world get you down. There's a lot of good in it. Just gotta look to see it. Reggie drove off, preparing himself for an earful from the manager. John nestled in Sarah's coat a second time, closing his eyes in the embrace of sleep. Come on, buddy. It's been a long day. Something tells me we've got more ahead of... Wow, figures I messed up the last line. Come on, buddy. It's been a long day. Something tells me we've got more ahead of us.